I died from something that wasn't even real.
And David got pulled over on a bike?
Well, he told a cop he was a preacher.
I mean, it worked, though, didn't it?
Did it?
Kind of. And Andrew went from fighting to filling pews real quick.
This episode is brought to you by
Backbone Coffee,
Phorm,
the Great Lakes Fishing Expo,
and Heritage Roofing.
watch,
Or listen.
Casting their faith to reach this world. Fish on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Casting Faith podcast. We're on episode 80?
Is it really?
It is really. Isn't that wild?
I feel like we were just doing 76.
It's crazy that it's 80, but it's 80. And we got a crazy, awesome, fun episode today. My good friend Andrew Huckel in the house. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But before we get into the show today, David's got a story to tell because David, I'll say it, almost got arrested. Last week.
No. So I didn't even know this was a thing, but I got pulled over on my bicycle. So I'm in my front yard with the kids. The kids are out playing. Neighbor walks over. He goes, "Hey, I've got this extra bike. I know that your son will probably have to grow into it. Would you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes,
Favor.
It might need a little bit of work. It's been hanging up in the garage for a minute. You might have to oil the chain and put some air in the tires. I'm like, all right, easy enough. So I got it, and I started messing with it that night. And the brake cable was a little loose, so I fixed that, tightened it up, got it running, or not running, but working, you know. And I walk inside the Brit, and I go, "Hey, I'm going to take this around the block real quick, just to make sure that the brakes are all good." She goes, "It's a little dark out." I said, "I know, but I'm just going to be in the neighborhood. I don't think it's going to be a big deal." And it's got the reflectors on it anyway. So
In fact, it turned out to be.
it turned out to be a big deal. So I rode it around the neighborhood, and I'm turning back onto, the street before our street. And I pass a cop. And something in me just goes, "You're going to get pulled over right now." And sure enough, the lights turn on. He comes up, pulls up next to me, says, "Go ahead and pull over to the side of the road." So I do. I stop, and your boy's not in shape. So I'm huffing and puffing a little bit.
What, like a pig?
And my legs are shaking a little bit because riding a bike, man. If you haven't rode a bike in a minute, it's not easy. And he goes, "So what are you doing?" I said, "Well, officer, my neighbor gave me this bike. I just got the brakes fixed. I wanted to take it around the block." He goes, "Oh, really?" I go, "Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing anything other than that." And he goes, "Well, where's your light?" I said, "I don't have a light." He goes, "Well, you need to have a flashing red light on if you're going to be riding the bike at night." I go, "Oh, I thought the reflectors would be fine." And he goes, "No, got to have the light. Do you have your driver's license with you?" And I said, "No, I was just..."
Officer, I'm on a bicycle.
Literally riding my bike around the neighborhood right now. He goes, "Well, it's dark out, so I'm going to stop you. Do you know your social?" I gave him my social. He goes, "As long as everything comes back fine,
Oh my God.
we'll let you go." And I gave him the information, obviously, and he's like, "All right, well, just so you know, like we're stopping you because you're out riding your bike without the light, and it looked a little suspicious." And I said, "I guess I appreciate that because you're in my neighborhood, but
Way to be positive about
just
that.
riding my bike." And then another cop pulls up and stops in front of me, and he goes, "Where's the pegs, man?" I go, "I know. If I had them, you could jump on." And
that's it.
so that's my story.
That's awesome.
That's me getting pulled over on my bike. And I texted him that night, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I got a story for the podcast. I just got pulled over on my bike."
Dude, the running your social for
Is crazy.
That's wild. You must have looked real. You were really struggling on that bike, right?
I'm wearing a pair of gray sweatpants and a black hoodie.
Yeah,
I looked
yeah.
way out of place.
Usual suspect. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they
that's
must have been bored that night.
Dude, that's crazy. Dude, pegs though. Remember
I
pegs?
I know. When he said that, I'm like, I mean, if I had
gotta
to
get 'em.
jump on, I'd take you around the block, or maybe I won't because I'll get pulled over again.
Yeah,
But
jeez. He said, "No."
Did you guys, this is so random. Did you guys ever feel like when you would ride on the back of someone's pegs and you jump off running, did you ever feel like you were faster?
oh, for sure.
Oh,
That was actually,
For sure.
that is so cool. I just remembered that when you said that.
So speaking of like working on bikes and stuff, me and Justin, my uncle Donnie would just find random bikes at yard sales and stuff, and he like collect. I don't know why he did it, but just collected them. He had this giant garage.
Yeah.
They were just full of them. So like I never like had the bike that I really wanted, but me and Justin would build our own.
That's cool.
In the garage. And so we could mess with the handlebars. We're like higher. We would, if we wanted a chopper, we could do that. But we never quite figured out the brake system, so we could get the front brakes to work, but not the back. And so the bikes that we made couldn't stop, like legit. And one time, you might have been there. We were all three riding bikes. It was me, Christian. I thought you were there. And Justin was there. I don't know if you were there or not, but we were riding around the neighborhood on these like homemade makeshift bikes. And I remember stopping and Justin stopped right in front of me and I slammed on those front brakes and I went straight over the handlebars.
I don't think I was
like,
there.
Flying right over.
I feel like I would have made fun of you a lot for that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it happens all the time, but you know.
Yeah, it happens all the time. You go flying over the
I'm
handlebars.
saying you make fun of me a lot. So
yeah, that's
at least
true.
I didn't get arrested on a bicycle or almost arrested. But I do have a funny story about a time that I did get pulled over and Andrew was with me.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. We were in college at the time. And Andrew, you were just like a teenager, right? At that point?
Yeah, I didn't even drive at that point.
Right. Because I picked you. That's it.
You come down and pick me up in Massillon.
I would pick him up and we would just go around, you know, coffee shops and, you know, Gabriel Brothers or whatever. And, man, I did this one time and I picked him up and I think we were headed to the church because we passed a Walmart. And I think it was the Walmart in Brimfield.
Okay.
And, I remember just driving, and it was back when I had the 2003 Dodge Neon, the white one. We called him Richard because one time I was driving it down the road in the middle of a snowstorm, and the hood latch broke, and it went up like a Tommy boy. And so it was like held together with a bungee. So this car was beat up already, and I was like an even bigger slob than I am now. I've grown and matured a little bit.
Didn't we... Pause for just a second.
Yeah.
Didn't Christian and I try to convince you to glue something to the hood?
No, you guys wanted to paint our handprints on it and do that. I'm like, it's my car though. Like I know it's not much, but it's what I got.
Like that would have been so sweet.
And looking back, I'm like, what a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
But
It's a blank canvas.
yeah, it was a nice white Dodge Neon. And you know, it wasn't the nicest car, and it was packed full. Like the back seat was full of like empty energy cans and all my clothes.
Yeah, but I think you were moving or something.
Yeah, there was like
that.
boxes of stuff, and I remember driving, and I'm doing my best. I got Andrew in the car with me, and we're just hanging out, and I see lights. And I'm like, oh no! Like, well,
He looks the part.
I'm not speeding at all. Like I was doing everything right. My tags weren't expired. I wasn't speeding at all, but I looked a certain way in this Dodge Neon, and so this cop pulls us over.
Can I add something to what you looked like?
Yeah.
This was back when everybody wore the nerd glasses because that looked cool.
Yep. Yeah, we were
We
going.
both had them on.
We were going to Gabriel Brothers to get fake glasses to wear.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that's what we were doing. Yeah.
Hey, when did Gabriel Brothers switch from Gabriel Brothers to just Gabe's?
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know why I got excited to answer the question.
I mean, it's
without the
okay.
answer,
It's
but-
all right.
I just thought about it when you said that because I'm like, my son and my mother-in-law just went to Gabe's, and I'm like, I haven't heard anybody call
I
it
love
Gabriel
it,
Brothers
man.
in a minute.
Right.
It's a good store here in Northeast Ohio. If you know, you know.
For sure.
But we were getting these dumb glass. So I like, car's a mess. I got old Ohio State jerseys pulled over the seat covers because it's like there's
Bucks.
holes in the fabric and stuff. The liners all head like overhead is just dripping down. This guy pulls us over because we just look a certain way. I'm a young man, and I have a younger man with me, and we're the
Doesn't
car's
sound weird at all.
No, not weird at all. And the car's full of junk. And he pulls us over, and I'm like, 10 on 2, you know, freaking out. Like I've not been pulled over yet. Like this is one of my only experiences with this. And Andrew's like,
I had no idea.
he had no idea. And I'm like, oh gosh. And I didn't know what to say. And you guys know, like, I know all the responsibilities I have here at the church. I've been doing things in the church for a very long time. And even back then I was involved, but I wasn't a minister yet. You know what I mean? I wasn't any stretch of the means that I had done a few keynotes, maybe like a youth service, and taught Sunday school here and there. That's what I was involved with. I don't know why in the world I said this, but he comes up to the window, he knocks on the window, and he goes, license and registration. I'm like, all right, cool. I got all that. Everything checks out. Like, and he's like, he never even did the whole, do you know why I pulled you over today? He didn't do that. He just looks at me after I give him my license and registration, and he goes, you mind if I search this car? Just like that.
Aggressive, like
aggressive. And I'm like, I look at Andrew and I'm like, I felt peace because I'm like, there's nothing in here that's like at all concerning other than like junk. I like all my packed stuff in the back, and but it's a Dodge Neon that looks sketchy. You know, it's all get out. And he says that he goes, like, you mind if I search the car? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm good. I'm a preacher. Like you can search all you want, and that's what I said. And I like get secondhand embarrassment saying this now, and we joke about it all the time because I'm like, no, I wasn't. Like,
yeah. And
at
it's
all
like,
yet. Like,
he wasn't even set up to say that either.
No,
like all he asked was, "Can I search the car?"
Went straight to the
I just went straight to. I went straight to. Yeah, I know the Lord. Like, you go for it. Like,
But I get it.
you're not gonna find nothing in here. Like,
I get it because that's so nerve wracking, especially when it's one of your first times.
oh my gosh. And I was probably, I don't know, 19 years old, 18 years old, something
Young.
like that. I was young.
And you know what's crazy? I had a similar experience. I was driving one time, and this cop he pulls me over, and I'm cool, nothing wrong. Like, I didn't do nothing. I don't even know why he pulled me over. It might even have been like a OVI checkpoint I was driving through or something. And he asked me if I drank, but like nothing wrong, and I'm okay, but just nervous and uneasy.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I had been drinking, and my response was like, "No, I'm one of the good guys."
Yep.
And it's like, and I can't, and I get like, I feel so cringed every time I think of that.
Yeah, I'm a preacher.
Like just the dumbest things, but it's their fault for making us so nervous.
Well, you know, we love our law enforcement.
Yeah,
Like
we
you said,
appreciate
you're
them.
Grateful that they're there doing these things.
100%.
But like, I don't know what it is. When you have nothing to hide, like, why was I nervous? Like, I wasn't speeding. We weren't doing anything wrong.
Right.
He just saw my car and was like, "That's it. Got him. There's for sure drugs in that car."
There's my bust.
No doubt.
But there wasn't, because I was a preacher, and that was funny.
Yeah, and we were good.
Yeah,
and the Lord preserved us, and the fact that we didn't have nothing, that preserved us as well. So.
Yeah, thank God. Meanwhile, though, like, we didn't look the part is the point. Like,
no,
we didn't.
I think I had. I'm not even gonna lie. I think I had a low cut. Don't judge me. I used to skateboard. I had skinny jeans, probably some like Chuck Taylors, and a low cut V-neck white tee.
Yeah,
It was the late 2010s. It's
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
It
And
was
I had
the
one of
vibe.
those oversized beanies.
Yeah, we looked the part. That's the thing. Like, looking back, I'm like, I would have pulled us over too.
I remember that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. We didn't look like we were the last two guys you thought you'd believe in that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I
Absolutely.
just want to know what the cop that pulled me over was thinking. Like, here's this almost middle-aged dad riding around on a bike
Well,
in a neighborhood.
well,
Yeah.
you know what? It's a thing now. Like, all these junior high kids right now are on all of these e-bikes and
Yeah.
stuff, and they're just cruising. Those things get up to like 40 miles per hour.
You know, I was just
Those
thinking
are
about that
sweet.
tonight.
I would
I
like
took
to.
David to go hit a little bit tonight, and they're cruising through by the rec center on those e-bikes, like through the intersection.
Yeah, and so
those kids are like 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, do they need like a license?
that's
for
what
that?
I'm saying. And so they're cutting through people's yards.
Yeah.
They're doing all these things. They're all over the place. There's probably accidents every day on it. You know what I
That's-
mean? So like, they're probably looking out for that too.
That's true.
Yeah, I saw on the way to church Sunday, there was a group of kids riding on. There was one of them. There was some running next to it, but they were riding in the road right off. What's that? What's this road that the church is on? South. Is that what it is? So I got off like Gilchrist or whatever and stuff, and they're riding on the road, and the one little kid's like 4 years old,
Dang.
just hanging on for like dear life.
No, on the pegs.
And, yeah.
Like, oh,
Exactly. But it's those things are pretty scary.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I think that's probably what it is, though. Like, they're just probably getting complaints all the time about kids on their bikes or
I
weird.
want to know what the radio call was, because he had to call somebody for that other cop to show up.
I'm gonna need backup. We
I
got
got
a
a
guy
fat
on his
dad
bike.
on
There's
his
no
bike.
lights. There's no lights.
No lights on this fat dad's bike.
Yeah, he's
Just
sweating.
cruising through a
He's got the
neighborhood.
gray sweatpants
Yeah.
on. Oh man, I don't know. I laughed when you told me that story,
Yeah.
and then it made me think of this.
Well,
like,
I went in and told Brittany, and she about fell on the floor. She was cracking up.
oh,
It's
man.
funny.
And didn't she tell you too? Like, ain't she right? Like, hey, David, it's a little too late for this.
Yeah,
and you
true.
tried to
She
tell
did.
you.
She tried.
She tried.
Your wife is your voice of reason, guys.
Oh, man.
Sometimes.
We got an ad. Don't go anywhere.
Where are we at?
This episode's brought to you by Backbone Coffee.
This is the coffee we actually drink at home, too. It's not just because they're a sponsor of the show. We actually love this product.
And right now, if you go to the website, you can mix and match 3 different bags for $45.
Or you could set up a subscription and cancel it at any time.
And if you're a first-time buyer, use the promo code CastingFaith for 15% off.
Get you some of the coffee we actually drink.
Backbone Coffee.
Fuel the grind.
All right, and we're back. Dude, I got a story.
Let's hear it.
Okay, I saw this the other day, and it's one of those stories like you're not sure if it's real or not, but it's a crazy story. So there was this guy, he was working at a restaurant, and he works the late night shift, right? So he's closing up shop, doing all the things, and he goes into the freezer.
Okay.
And it's one of those self-locking freezers, like it locks, can't get out.
Man, that scares me.
Right.
That's bad news.
So this is his
Already.
situation. He goes in. It's just a normal shift, nothing crazy. He goes in and he walks into this freezer in the back, and somehow the door shuts behind him. So worst case scenario. Now, obviously, he starts panicking like we all would do. We would all hate that. That's like a nightmare. I've seen so many shows that do this thing too. And but this happens to him. He's living the nightmare. The door shuts behind him. He's panicking. He's banging on the door. Everyone's gone. He's yelling. He's trying to get out, and nobody hears him because everybody's gone. He's the only one there.
In the freezer, nobody can hear you scream.
Man. And over time, his body starts reacting like he's freezing. So he's freezing to death.
I know where you're going with this already.
In this moment.
How you said that, but that's...
He's shaking. His breath gets shallow. His heart rate's going crazy. And eventually he passes out. He collapses. The next day, they come in and they find him. And the report said that he died of hypothermia. Right? So he's frozen. But when they investigated him, or what's it called? The coroner's report?
Autopsy.
Autopsy, that's what I meant. When they do the autopsy, they discovered symptoms of like dying from freezing to death, right? But here's the twist. The freezer hadn't been working for weeks, meaning that it wasn't turned on at all, which means it wasn't even freezing in there. He just panicked and thought, I'm locked in a freezer. And his mind told him that he was freezing to death and he died from it.
Is that true? That's a true story?
I don't know if this is a true story or not, but I did see it. So it's mixed. Like you can't find it like legit
I have
details.
so many questions.
Right. So like the dude walks into a freezer, accidentally locks himself in it, but the freezer's not really working. It hadn't been working for weeks or days. And he gets locked in and he starts to panic. He passes out and he dies in the freezer just because mentally he thought, I'm in a freezer.
But how does his
I'm
body
stuck.
show signs of hypothermia?
Maybe it didn't show signs, but it was he died from this even though he didn't freeze to death is what they were saying. So when they investigated, the freezer hadn't been working for weeks. And man,
Also,
he just died.
If he worked there, how did he not know the freezer wasn't working?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I told you I don't know if
And
it's a real
was
story,
there
but
food in it? Why was he
Yeah.
even in there?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
What was
great-
he
It's not
getting?
working.
all great questions that I don't have answers to.
Also, did you see, Good Burger?
Yeah.
Have you seen the second Good Burger?
No.
It's fun.
Is it?
It's not as good as the first one. My kids love the first.
Did they get locked in the freezer?
So my kids love the first Good Burger. David will do the I'm a dude, she's a dude, and she like in Ed's voice. But the second Good Burger, the one kid that worked like flipping the burgers and the drive-through in the first one with like the weird hat and all that, he gets stuck in the freezer supposedly in the first one. They unthaw him in the second one. That's where my mind went.
Yeah. My mind goes to the regular show when they get stuck in the freezer. Remember that show?
Yeah, I remember the regular show.
Get stuck in the freezer. There's like a caveman in it that thaws out. I don't know. It all sounds
Remember
like
the
it's made
episode
up.
where the hot dogs like attack them?
Yeah,
in
it
the
was
freezer?
weird. That's a weird show, dude. But it's crazy because they say that when he died just because his mind said he was freezing.
Right.
There's this another story. This is an actual story. It's actual medical report where a guy, he's depressed, right? His girlfriend breaks up with him. It's the worst day of his life, and he's got a bottle of pills next to him on his nightstand. And he makes the worst decision that anyone could ever make, and he just downs them all. Right? And so he had intentions of doing something I'm not going to say. And somebody finds him, rushes him to the hospital. They start trying to pump his stomach, do all of these things. His vitals are all over the place. He's dying of an overdose. or when they were testing him for him, they said, "What did you take?" And he has the bottle. They brought the bottle in and whatever. They do a research on the medicine that he overdosed on, and it was a placebo. But his body was reacting as it was an overdose, even though there was nothing in the pill that was causing him any harm.
It's all about your mindset.
And so he took this with intentions, and he was having all of the symptoms. His mind was telling him, "I'm dying because of this," but he really wasn't. And it wasn't until the doctor said, "Hey, I know you don't want to hear this, but this is a placebo." And his vitals came back. Once he was told the truth, his vitals all came back to normal, and he was fine. Like, but he was dying. Like, he was coding. You know what I mean?
Like, that's just, I'm not laughing.
It's wild.
But, like, at the same time, it's just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That your mind can just trick you. You can be deceived.
To me, that's, no, not to be insensitive. That's like just kind of, it's funny because the mind's so powerful.
Yeah, dude. It's
what it can do.
It's wild. It's wild to think that.
But, like, bro, you're good.
Yeah.
Just chill and you'll be good.
Calm down. It's all right. It's the placebo.
Also, though, can you imagine how he must have felt? Because I'm assuming it's some kind of prescription that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Finding out
like
that
you've been duped the whole time. I'd be so mad.
Whatever he was prescribed was like just fake.
I've been
just sugar
spending
pills.
$85 on this a month.
Not even that.
I hope
It's
he
like,
had insurance.
Man.
Yeah, but not even like from the money standpoint, but from the standpoint of his doctors prescribed him something they knew wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah,
It's
that's
wild.
crazy.
It's wild, but it's
And it makes you wonder how often that happens.
Yeah.
Like probably all the time. Right?
It's crazy, and both of those stories sound so extreme. And man, if you're honest though, like if we're all honest with ourselves though, we've had moments in our lives where we believe something that was completely not true.
Yeah.
And man, those two stories exactly. One of them probably isn't true at all, but the medicine one was.
That makes me think like, and this is not where we intended the show to go at all, but like anxiety.
Yeah.
Like how you can build something up so much in your mind that doesn't even happen. Like you start, and I'm sure we've all dealt with anxiety in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, when the cop was pulling me over.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you start playing out all these scenarios of happens. What do I do? Okay, and I'm going to do that. Now this is going to happen because I did that, and you start building up these scenarios. Man, it's just your mind's a wild thing. A wild thing.
Yeah, dude.
And that's what I love. I loved Brother Shaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he come and he talked about, I won't quote it because I'll butcher it, the sermon title. He's talking about essentially the danger of a bad attitude.
Yeah.
And it's like that's something I deal with, and we'll get into that. I've dealt with the crazy sides of, you know, what we would call mental health disorders and stuff. And so much of it is just not controlling it. You know what I mean? And we'll get into stuff later, but it's so crazy how I won't quote the scripture because I'm the worst at quoting things.
all right.
But when he says think on whatsoever is true and whatsoever is pure, that's so powerful.
It's like medicine for the mind.
It literally is. And you know, it'll unfold shortly, but like that's so true.
Yeah.
I'll be able to tell you where I come from. You know, not to like jump straight into it, but where I come from in the past 12 years of my life, the battle I had with that. It's
yeah, man. You've kind of lived all sides of that, and man, we're gonna let you roll. Like, go ahead and tell your story, dude. For people that don't know, Andrew and I've been friends for a very long time, you know, and man, it's been a few years since I've seen you. You know what I mean? You've been back for about a year and a half now, and never did I think, like, we didn't go to the same church growing up, same like-minded faith and all of that, but never did I think you would be here.
Yeah.
And you're here now, which is so awesome, and I'm so grateful for everything that God has done. But man, let's let the listener know a little bit about your story, because it's a story that needs to be told and heard. Honestly, like it's real life. It happens to everybody, you know. And so I want you to just take your liberty and say what you feel to share today.
For sure. First off, thanks for allowing me to come onto the podcast. Right before we started, I had expressed I'm not the biggest podcast guy. because in the past year, a little over a year since I've started coming back, I've developed into a lot of a big just like difference in who I am, and so I'm not entertained by things I was entertained by, and it's like I have a high appreciation for guys like you who can show what the whole point of this podcast is, that real men can be real Christians and still be real men, you know, and I love that because
still get pulled over on their bike.
Still get pulled over on their bike at night. And that cop probably thought you was doing something that you would never do, you know? But we have anyways, we won't go into all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so appreciative that there's something like this out here. And I hope that for all the listeners, stay tuned to this. This is, from what I'm learning, is a growing family thing, you know, and I love the heart of these guys. I've known both of these guys for so long. I looked up to them in one way, shape, or form throughout life, and me and David wasn't as close, but I always, you know, him, Christian, Charlie, those were the guys, you know what I mean? I always looked up to him, so it's cool to be able to sit at this table that I don't, and I'll tell you why. I sometimes I want to say, like, I wouldn't even feel worthy to sit at, but I know that's not true because you guys are truly brothers and you love me, and that means so much. Like when I first started coming back, and still to this point, I have a lot of people tell me that, you know, Andrew, we're so proud of you. And I'm like, brother, you don't understand. I'm so proud of you. You know, not that people don't have their struggles in life and maybe mishaps and fall off here and there, but I left, and when I came back, you guys was still here. So I'm so proud of you guys. And I want to reciprocate that from the standpoint of what we'll call a prodigal.
Yeah.
I'm glad my brother was home when I got there to be at the celebration. You know what I mean? So that's it's an honor to be here with you guys. But yeah, thank you. But yeah, so to move forward, my testimony, I grew up in, you know, apostolic Pentecostal. My dad was a licensed preacher with the United States of America,
baby,
with the UPCI. And we're Southern. We're from Louisiana. Spent most of our time here, but you know, that's home of ours as well. So, we grew up what some people would call us like Southern Pentecostal, right? But needless to say, like we grew up in a family who loved the Lord and truly lived out to the best of their ability what they could. Now, you know, we've all had parts, like I said, where we fall off, and some people have that in extreme measures and some don't. And one thing I can say is my family is a very good example of people who are so genuine for God. Yeah. And we love God so much that when we all started coming back and returning to who we know we are in the Lord, it's a hard pill to swallow to say that we're prodigals. And this is just a true thing for me to speak, because we love the Lord. We never want to turn our back on him. We never did want to. But at the end of the day, we fell into disobedience, right? And not saying that's okay by any means, but it happens. Yeah. And it happens so much more than people know. So with my personal story, I grew up in this, saw my family go through some really hard times, and we all fell apart. My sisters started going to church. My uncle would bring me to church every Sunday, alongside my best friend, who's my first cousin.
Shout out to Dustin.
Shout out to Dustin. That's my brother. But they brought me to church with them every Sunday and a lot of Wednesdays. And then my family kind of started, getting involved in the church, and then I started getting involved in church, and then when I was 12 years old, I was called to preach, and it was cool because I remember seeing my daddy preach, and to me that I always I thought my dad was the man, right? When he was preaching. Then we see this other side of life where we all go through some hardships and there's conflict, right, with that. And I'm just speaking freely on this, and there's turmoil in that because we weren't living for the Lord, right? And but we always looked at each other like, no, you're called of God. You're blessed. You have the Holy Ghost in you. What most of this world doesn't even know.
Yeah.
So we always had there was just I don't know how to say it any other way, but it was just like awkward. Like even when we would be in as family, not doing things according to the word of the Lord, we'll say, when we were living in sin, it never set right. It always turned into a fight because we always looking at each other, knowing
we know better,
knowing what we should be doing.
Yeah.
And not to go into too deep of detail on all that, but to stay on track, I come from a family who served the Lord with all their might, and I seen that, and I was exposed to that at a young age. My dad and mom, they had whole families living in our house to disciple them.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I didn't get to come home just to my family, which was big already. I had 3 siblings, my 2 parents. We had another family at one point of four other people. One of them had like mental health disabilities or whatever. I don't know the full gist of what he had, but so I saw servanthood firsthand, and I saw real genuine love, and that's what I was exposed to, and that's what I feel a lot of my family and anyone who knows my family, they can reciprocate that about my family, is that we love all the way out to my cousins. We have big hearts.
Yeah.
We're some rough around the edges in some ways. Like, most of my family, which we'll get into where this developed, but are fighters, like good fighters and known as such, but we love you first, right? So with all that, I had this passion for people my whole life. I've seen it, and then the Lord called me. I remember it was at North American Youth Congress. I don't remember what year. I think it was like probably 07, 8, 9, something like that. It was in Nashville, Tennessee, and me and Dustin, actually, we were making a video for YouTube called Screaming Boys Films.
Sick.
I shouldn't have said that. Do not go look it up.
Go there, subscribe, like, comment.
Because the videos are still up. But
I'm finding them.
I shouldn't have said that because they're so embarrassing on my part. But we were making one called Screaming Boys Go to Nashville, and the Lord stopped me in my tracks, and we were all out in the lobby waiting for our rooms to get prepared because we had a big youth group, and the Lord pulled me off into this hallway by myself, and I felt the call of God to preach the gospel, and so from then we just ran with it, but we developed friendships. I developed friends with people who had the same kind of calling, whatever, and that was my identity. I was teaching Bible studies in my school. I put together similar to how you guys started back to the battlefield back in the day. It's now just Battlefield, right?
Yeah.
But it used to be Back to the Battlefield at Talmadge is where it started. I mimicked that at my high school, and it never grew as big as Battlefield did, but there were lives that were touched. That's and just did a lot of cool things and was used in different ways and played the drums, was very heavily involved in the church, and then my life flipped upside down just like that, and it was just crazy. The earth shook from underneath me. The one of them, and I'll be vulnerable with it, and I hope this is okay for whoever hears this, but get over it. I have the mic. The man in my life who was Superman was my uncle. And he was going through some struggles. And at this time, I was a young boy, had my first serious relationship and all this stuff, and that fell apart. And it was because I was an idiot. You know, I was a little hot-headed and whatever. And so I was like already kind of in like a bad couple weeks, maybe like a month span of things. And then one day I wake up and my uncle took his life. And I had faith though. I believed in God. You know, I've seen God do miracles. Maybe I've never seen someone's arm grow when it was withered or whatever, but I've seen God change things. I've seen God work, and I'm a witness. I was filled with the gift of the Holy Ghost. I know it's real. So when that happened, I went up and I prayed and I said, you know, stand up. I said, God, I want you to raise him. And it didn't happen because obviously that wasn't the will of the Lord. Or else it would have happened, right? And when that happened, it just got weird for me. And then a lot of other things just started just falling apart. And I won't go into detail on all of it, but like a lot of my family left the church.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting there holding on through all this. Like, you know, I found my uncle, so developed issues from that we'll get into later. But you know, just so many chaotic things happened all at once. And I was young, so full of faith, but then it was just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then, was you about to say something?
Yeah. I have had some similar things with people passing and having that faith of, you know, this is what we read about. This is what happens. This is an opportunity for God to do something great. Mm-hmm. And then the disappointment if it doesn't.
Yeah.
That wrecks you because you're like, God, I believe. It's not a lack of faith. I'm literally casting faith right now. I'm doing the thing. I'm doing what you did. I'm saying, Lazarus, come forth. And
for sure.
Nothing's happening. And I don't understand that, you know, but his ways are not our ways, you know, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. And man, that's such a vulnerable and real thing that is such a hard thing to deal with. I similar experience with my father-in-law who passed during 2019. And it's like, you just think, why? You know, like why? And it messes with you. And if you don't have the right outlet, it can warp your mind into believing something that isn't true. Like, well, then God must not be what I thought he was.
Yeah.
And I've lived this my whole life. I've believed this all my life, and my faith didn't work. So maybe I'm not who I thought I was.
Oh yeah, for sure. So then we start talking about guilt, right? Mm-hmm. And shame, and you know, and I'll be vulnerable with you. I drove during the span of time. I drove my uncle to church every Sunday because he was. I don't know if you picked that up. I kind of moved off the mic a little bit.
You're good.
But I would pick him up, or I would stay the night there. I kind of lived there. This was when I was in high school, and I lived with them for a while. And so I would drive him to church all the time, just because at that point I wasn't. I don't think I was playing drums. I wasn't really doing anything where I had to be there early, and my cousin and his mom and my aunt they sang in the choir and played in the band and whatnot. And so they would be there early at church, and my uncle would have me drive his car. And, but because of, to be honest, it was because I went through my first real heartbreak. Mm-hmm. I went and stayed home and I didn't bring him. Right. And then I wake up to the text of things happening. So there's all the shame, and there's guilt, and just a lot of other weird things that I could tell people about it that maybe wouldn't go on the internet. But surrounding this and leading up to it and after that just happened, and you know, it was just mind-boggling. Just threw me off, right? Mm-hmm. So then that's what happened. I started being like, if I would have stayed there,
Yeah.
if I wouldn't have been hurt, right? If I would have just stayed strong and wouldn't have planned on missing church that day because I was so hurt, would this have happened? Ultimately, now I know when that kind of thing happens, it's going to happen. You know, unfortunately, you try to be there for people, but when they make their mind up, they'll make their mind up.
Yeah.
You know, so there's nothing I could have done other than what I was already doing. We were already praying for him, reaching out for him, whatever. So thank God that I now am able to understand that, but it took years.
Yeah.
So that led into a downhill. I mean, I just spiraled, right? So
you were pretty young still too, huh? Like,
so when I was, I believe I had just turned 17 or 18 when it happened. So yeah, like, and back then I thought I was a grown man. You know, I look back now, I'm like, oh my goodness, what a little boy I was. You know what I mean? To go through something that heavy. And it's not woe is me. There were others that was hurt just way worse than I was. You know what I mean by it? But this is just my story, right? So, but that was my dog. That was my uncle. He got me into. He helped me in he taught me some martial arts. He taught me like to lift. Like he taught me how to be strong. He brought me to church. Like when my parents struggled and whatnot. Like this dude was the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? In my opinion, and I still firmly will say that I won't take that. I will never take that away from he's still the man.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for whatever he had went through, right?
Yeah.
But that was the man. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to get emotional, but that hits me because I love that guy so much all these years later.
It's all right, man.
But anyways, moving past that, I had this call on my life and had all this stuff happen, and
everything that could be shaken was shaken.
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
Now I'm talking like my sister was in Bible college, who was my strength, Jacqueline. She was. Their stories when I was a baby, my crib collapsing and part of the rails trying to go through my throat, but for some reason something woke her up in the middle of the night. She's walking by my room right as it collapsed. She dove and caught me. My sister Jacqueline has always been almost like, I don't know the best way to say it, but like a spiritual covering for me. And
how true that rings throughout your story.
And just wait till it comes back around. Right. So she's always been like that. And she was at Bible college. She was at IBC. And then I was going to church by myself. Had some cousins and stuff, but most of my cousins had left the church. And for one reason or another, and some things it's not my business to ask or talk about, but I was confused. I was like, hold on, we believe this. Why are we believing? So there would be times I would pull up to their doorstep. Like, where you at? I'd text them before church. Why you ain't sitting next to me right now? And it didn't make sense because I was holding on with everything. And then
because you were called.
Because I was called, and you cannot when you're called by God, you cannot escape it, no matter what. And I'll get it more into that too, but you know, he's just side note. He's just so faithful to us, right? He'll give you what you need to get you through what he knows you're going to go through. But anyways, so all this happened and my whole life just flipped upside down and I made a bad decision. I was working at Chipotle and I went to a little bonfire with some friends from school after I got off because someone come and invited me, got food and saw me and invited me after. And like, what's one time? Just go, you know. And usually I wouldn't go to it because I know what they did there. I was like, I'll just go one time, you know, never planned on doing anything. And I drank one beer. And just, I don't know if I should say that on here, but
right. Yeah,
being 100% honest, that's what happened. And at that point, there was a time where I needed to Now I see this now because I'm older, but I needed to sit down and refocus on my walk with the Lord because everything had actually got to me and I didn't realize it. And when that was brought to me, to that was kind of the route we wanted to go, was to do that. I took offense to it and I got hurt and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, self-pity kind of. Not that I ever even thought that's what I was doing. It is what it was. So then kind of fell into that, and then God provided a way of escape from what I was slowly getting myself wrapped up into, and gave me an opportunity to go to Louisiana and kind of sit under a leadership who was going to kind of help me get through the trauma.
Yeah.
And now that I look back, that's what I think it was. But I was there for a few months and blessed by these people. But where I was at was God wanted me alone, and he wanted me to be focused on him, and I just got distracted, and I remembered I left Louisiana and I drove home, and on my way home there were physical signs to turn back. And I'm not one that ever says I heard an audible voice. I'm not one to say that I've seen signs like that unless there was something that was real. And there was an actual couple different things that like popped up, like you need to turn around. And I didn't. Right off rip, I was outside. I was out, what the kids would call today, I was outside. You know what I mean? I was not living for the Lord, not praying, not reading scripture, stopped going to church, and developed habits and started feeding things, and never with the intention though to walk away from the Lord. And then you look back years later and you're just like, hold up, what happened? And it all happened so fast. But with all that being said, I had got to the point where, let me choose my words carefully here. I'd got to the point where I almost got deceived. And I think it ties into what you were talking about, is I genuinely believed that I went too far and that I had, I messed up. So one thing I always knew I could do is I was never scared to fight nobody. So I walked into Victory MMA, and shout out to them. I love those guys, great people over there. If you're into that kind of workout and training, go check them out. Victory MMA in Canton, Ohio. Got to do a shameless plug because I am forever indebted to the friendship and the martial arts aspect, the guidance that I've had there, and the brotherhood. They're some great guys down there, and I love them with all my heart. But got into MMA. I always grew up in Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Shaolin Lung Fu. That's the system that my uncle taught us in, and my uncle Kelly from Louisiana, just to throw that out there. But I always grew up in martial arts. Got into MMA now, and because I wanted to fight in a cage. I was a big fan. Me and you used to.
Oh, 100%. I would throw. We would get, before the UFC blew up, it was like Forrest Griffin days, Chuck Liddell, John Jones early days, and I would get the pay-per-views at my house, my grandparents' house, and I would invite all the guys, and we would all come over, and none of us drank or anything like that. We would order pizza, and I would go get the cheapest energy drinks that you could find, and
For sure.
we'd mix them all together. We'd have Jones soda, all kinds of different things, and we would just eat and hang out and watch
Good
the fights.
times.
And man, looking back, those are some of my favorite days, dude.
I'm pretty confident after a Rampage Jackson fight, I once knocked you out.
You did.
Are you saying?
You weren't there for that one.
No,
but
I need to know
We
about
were
this,
idiots.
though.
We were.
He put me in an arm
In
bar.
fairness, I won one of those rounds.
You did.
I choked. I did a rear naked choke on him. But we were being dumb and no punching or anything. We were just grappling.
Yeah.
And I throw an arm bar on him, and I don't know what I'm not trained.
Yeah.
Like, I just do what I saw. That's what I would. When I did MMA, it was like in a cornfield with my buddies.
Yeah.
And we'd be doing stupid stuff. just don't hit to the face, like that was what it was.
Right.
And somebody would always get hit. But anyways, we did a couple of rounds, and we're not in shape at all. So like I'm like, but I'm quick, because I had
fresh out of high school.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I'm quick.
still
I
young.
have some wrestling experience, so like doing junior high and senior, all the way up through senior high wrestling for my schools. And so I'm like, let's do it. We were all amped after watching Rampage. I think it was, did he knock out Chuck Liddell? I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember. I just remember it was Rampage.
But we start messing around in the living room, and I get the best of him one time. I throw in the rear naked choke, and I'm like, round 2, here we go. And find myself putting him in an arm bar, and he straight up Rampage slams me on my head, like just drop the hammer.
Oh man.
Like he did. I have it sunk in, but I'm not again. I just know the motion. I don't know like how to roll, So like I don't know what to do when you're about to get lifted, like how to prevent that. And so he just picks me up and he slams me down, and I get up, and
I thought I killed him at first.
I just sit there for a second. I'm like, that hurt. That was intense. And I didn't go all the way out, but when you're rocked. I was rocked, dude. Like,
yeah.
And I've experienced that once in wrestling, oddly enough, from getting slammed, So I was like, oh, I've been here before. It's not quite concussion, but it might be a concussion.
Probably was.
And I knew it was a concussion later because I got sick, like to my stomach. I was like, oh, I'm about to throw up. This is a concussion. But anyways, it was a good time.
Been there for sure.
It was fun.
But we would go and do these pay-per-view fights all the time. And I remember I did the same thing, same mistake against a guy named Ian in a cornfield. And he was like a karate guy, you know what I mean? And I'm like just a grappler. Like that's what I knew. And so I'm shooting doubles and singles, and I try to get him in I try to do what I did to him to this guy. He's taller than me, built way bigger than me. I'm just 125 pounds, like just trying my best. And I like feint a high kick. Like an idiot, like don't know what I'm doing whatsoever.
Right. Just flailing
it's gonna be funny for you because like the actual technique. I'm John Jones up in here. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying. And he was like, I want to think that he was impressed that I could kick that high. And we just start going again. We didn't hit each other in the face or anything. And any of you's listening, don't be dumb. Don't do this. Go do it in a like legit
save your
Side
brain.
note, the Gaga ball thing would have been a full-on octagon.
100%. That's the octagon.
Like it would not have. It wouldn't have been Gaga ball.
No, it would
just
have been an
fights.
arena. That's that's our cage. But anyways, he throws something at me. I can't because I threw a high kick. He threw a punch.
Mm-hmm.
So I snatched up his arm and I flying arm bar this guy. And when I say flying arm bar, it was probably the ugliest flying arm bar that you could think of. And he does the same thing just because he's taller. All he did was stand up, and I'm 120 pounds, and he just, and I'm like, well, dang. But it didn't knock me out that time.
Yeah, you gotta stop doing that.
Stop doing the arm bars.
The arm bar is not your move.
No.
Yeah,
You're not Ronda.
keep it to the blast double.
Yeah, it was horrible. Anyways, we would do this all the time. We would have these fights at our house. We weren't fighting each other, but we watched the fights. And I remember the night that John Chone's toe got busted open. I think he was fighting Chael Sonnen.
I think I was at your house for that one, maybe.
And his toe knuckle was just out.
That was sick. That was really gross.
And then with Frank, another one I remember was Frank Mir's arm getting snapped.
Yeah, that was bad.
Ugh.
I was at your house.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
This is the one and only time I've ever had an ought with you in my heart. I'm an Anderson Silva guy.
Here it is.
Yes.
And
there it is.
My God.
There it is.
Charlie hated Anderson Silva.
I'll attest to that.
And
I'm gonna let you I'm gonna let you have the story, and then I'm gonna rebuttal. Okay.
All right. So, he's fighting Chris Weidman the first time, and I'm like, I love this. He's dropping his arms, he's dancing like this dude's not gonna touch him. In my mind, I'm pumped. And then this is the one he gets knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Chris Weidman clips him and knocks him out. I was so mad.
Wasn't it his leg though?
No, that was the second time.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't. So I left mad. I
Heavy.
got all the way home and I was mad
'Cause I was
because
like,
you were just rejoicing. And that's why I don't think I came
He didn't
over
come
for the
to
next
another
time
one.
they fought.
Oh yeah, he skipped one because of that.
Yeah, when they fought, I didn't want to hear you talk about Anderson Silva no
I
more.
can't. That's so
And
funny.
unfortunately, that's when Anderson's leg broke.
Wrapped around that dude's leg.
that was
Sick. I
gnarly.
remember when that one happened though. I didn't feel good about that. Like
Yeah.
the leg thing. And I will say this: the only reason I was so anti Anderson Silva was this guy, because my favorite fighter growing up was GSP,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
the whole talk was
Shout out to the GOAT, though.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I don't know. John Jones is still fighting, right?
Well, okay.
he retired.
All right. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, that's a good
I'll
point.
put John Jones as the GOAT. I have to.
Yeah,
But
but
back
GSP,
then,
he was the guy.
Respect GSP. I just wasn't a fan.
But
Yeah.
so like there was that, and so my mind was like, when is GSP and Silva? When is this super fight going to happen? Before super fights were like every other weekend, and now there's like it's hard to even find that anymore.
Yeah.
But
There's so many fights now.
yeah,
The sport's grown so
saturated.
much.
Yeah, but that was why I didn't like Anderson Silva. Now the older I got, the more I respected what he did, and I actually started to like him towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
So it was like a total switch from
Right. Now,
from
but
then.
now he's just like everybody's unk.
I heard he was a
You know what I
police
mean?
officer now.
I wouldn't doubt it. Why
No,
would he
South
not?
America?
Be? He could.
I don't know where. I think I can't remember where. I think that's who it is.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Tito Ortiz just got baptized.
Did he?
Isn't that wild?
Good for him. He
Isn't that
needs
crazy.
it.
He needs the Lord. Him and his wife both. And we'll
Good.
leave it at
I'm
that.
happy for
But
them.
praise God.
Praise the Lord. But can I bring something back up?
Yeah,
because
go ahead. Sorry, we
I-
got off the rails.
I don't. All right, so I work at Powerhouse Gym in North Canton, and people love to talk to me about MMA and all things
So
combat
he got
sports.
mad at me because of me hating on Anderson Silva, and he was like, "I'm going to become the ultimate fighter."
Yeah, that's what
that
sparked
was
it
the
all.
whole origin story.
Every training session I saw
Can't
Charlie
believe
in
he
my
hates
face.
it.
But no, I have to real quick just disclaimer. I have to take back my GOAT talks too. There's probably 3 people. Demetrius Johnson has to be on
Mighty
that
Mouse
list.
is top. Yeah,
Mighty Mouse, technically, superb, and that's my opinion.
talk about
And,
flying arm bars.
dude. He's still to this day. I
Did
mean,
he do that on Dobson? Was that who it was? Did he?
no,
flying arm bar?
Ray Borg.
That's who it was.
He did the back take to the suplex to the armbar.
Sick.
The
In, like,
coolest thing
seconds,
I've ever
when he
seen.
used it. That's what I was trying to do in the cornfield. It didn't work out.
Yeah, that's so cool. But anyways, yeah, I have to always bring that up because if I get in the list of who I think's the best, and I have different reasons why I think they're the best,
Yeah.
I either sound really intelligent or really stupid. So,
Yeah.
but those are the 3 I have to put up there.
So you went through this life shaking event,
Yes.
and then, for lack of better words, you backslid.
Yeah, for sure. For sure backslid. Not with the intent of backsliding, but that's what happened. I started just falling into sin, and that's exactly what it was. There's no other way to put it, right? And let me put it like this, just for people to understand. I was walking steadily with the Lord,
Mhm.
and I turned and started walking in sin. Okay, I backslid. That's what I did. Right?
So you had this one moment was a hard moment, and if you haven't had a moment like this in your life, you're gonna
yeah, it's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen.
Maybe not the same
It
thing,
wasn't.
but
But like you
something's
said,
coming.
you were telling your story. It wasn't all of a sudden, was it? It
No.
wasn't like the
It
next
was
day
gradual.
you decided. It was a what?
It was a gradual decline. And you know what started happening is I can stand flat foot and say it wasn't bitterness never crept in. What happened was in the mix of confusion, I slowly stopped praying. And I mean intentionally talking to the Lord. And I'm not gonna ever say that I was like at that age I was the best prayer warrior ever. I probably wasn't, but I stopped communicating, and I started allowing distraction to happen, and it was just what was a suddenly thing was I suddenly realized like how far removed I was.
Yeah.
And yeah, but no, it was a gradual decline. And yeah, one thing after just led to another.
Yeah.
And with all that, I want to say it in a respectful way, but like I said, I started even the devil crept in, you know. I got on drugs and alcohol really bad, and I still would read the Bible.
Yeah.
And I'd let people and voices talk to me and try to lead me, but I wasn't sober.
Yeah.
And what does it say? It says, be sober and vigilant. It said he's seeking whom to devour. And I learned firsthand that, you know, you gotta stay sharp because he's smart and he'll figure a way to creep in. It's not gonna be just like, oh, well, I'm just mad because this happened. I'm dipping out. Not if you love the Lord. That's not what's gonna happen. I love the Lord. I got caught up in this slow decline.
Yeah.
And I realized that. And it was, this is what it comes down to is, in mix of all that, one day I had to realize I was wrong.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nobody else's hurt that hurt me. It was not that it didn't happen. Not that I will tell you, I was done wrong in different ways. But my decline was because I was wrong, not because anyone else did me wrong. I had a heart issue that developed that I didn't realize was developing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and this is just like a little shout out, not to get up here and try to exhort any type of message, but I will tell you straight up, do not stop praying, do not stop studying, and do not stop listening to your pastor's voice. And I stand on that.
Hey, you can say that anytime. Go ahead and exhort. Say that again real quick because it's important.
Don't ever stop praying. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how what this world tries to tell you. Don't stop studying the scripture to show yourself approved. And don't ever stop listening to the voice of God in your life. Pastoral authority is very important. And I will tell you, and I'm going to say this because it's something that I do feel I need to address. There was a point in my life where I was against that. Because there is one mediator, right? But I misinterpreted that because I was listening to the wrong things. And I want to say now, as a 31-year-old man, you'll have no authority without your authority in your life. And submission is a godly thing. It doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you more of a man. And I am so thankful for my pastor. I am so thankful for the pastors that were in my life as a child. I'm so thankful for the pastor I have now. I'm so thankful for the pastor I had in Louisiana, because there are times where I can sit back and I can remember that's when they were the voice of God in my life. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So don't ever get let me say it this way, don't ever get too big for your britches, whether you are called by God or not, whether you feel like you were anointed because you were this or that, or you're a great public, whatever.
When you get pulled over by a cop.
When you get pulled over by a cop, it doesn't matter. Not everything is as it seems, right? Yeah. But, so, where am I? Yeah, so started falling away. And then I fell into, when I got back from Louisiana, I'll tell you this what happened. It was within a week I was blacked out from partying. And I, if I say too much, cut it out. No, you're good. But I was blacked out behind a boat at a party. And it was the week I got back. And downhill spiral, right? Mm-hmm. So that was early in the year of 2015. What was it? August 7th. I believe August 7th of 2015. Just like the guy you read about, I took too many pills intentionally. because I was done. I had left what God had provided a way for me to be nurtured and grow in Louisiana, and just a chaotic time in life, and I left it, and I knew that I left it, and I thought I ruined everything, so I tried to, and this is why I think, and I'll always honor my parents, because I was in the hospital, and right before my consciousness went away, the last thing I looked up, I saw my dad look up to. My dad wasn't at this point living for the Lord, but my dad has faith. My mom has faith. And I looked, and the last thing I saw was my dad look to the Lord, and I felt peace.
Man.
And then I woke up 30 hours later in my bed. And when I woke up, I had an understanding that he has me here for a reason, but I never capitalized on it. That's when more things came, and I fell into other things. And a few years later, I fall into alcoholism, and not many people know this. Some do, those closest to me know this, but my whole fight career, I was a bad alcoholic. Very bad, to the point that while I was in Epsom salt, and I should never say this, don't ever do this if you are watching this and you're into cut and weight. Don't ever do this. Shouldn't be drinking anyway, in my opinion. But I was drinking.
Good advice.
I was drinking in the Epsom salt bath to cut weight, drinking alcohol, a pint of whiskey to help me cut weight. Not to help me cut weight. I just was an alcoholic, right? So I walked into these fights, and I was not. And I think I have some teammates that maybe would attest to this, that I never performed in a fight to my abilities. I was a bad, hidden, undercover alcoholic. And so I lose my first 2 fights, right? And then I get in, I win my first fight, in my opinion, and my team's opinion. I should have done it a lot sooner in the fight. I should have finished it. But I couldn't perform in the capacity that I have developed skill-wise. And it was because I had something hidden. I was dealing with something worse than what people knew. And it was a really severe problem with alcohol. And but then I finally win my first fight, and I'm all pumped up, and I'm like, okay, maybe this will give me the encouragement to stop drinking, take it seriously. Did a kickboxing fight, lost it. Didn't understand the rule set, didn't take it seriously, drinking just the whole time. Went to take another MMA fight, and a girl rear-ended me. And that changed everything. This girl hit me. I had to slam my brakes to avoid hitting the person in front of me, but I was in a steady flow of traffic, and I was going 50, right? So I slammed my brakes, and the person behind me never stopped. Oh. As my car set back when it stopped, she just drove right through me. I didn't handle it properly according to going to the doctor the way I should have and whatnot, but I had symptoms of a TBI, traumatic brain injury. Yeah. For the next week, hysterically laughing to on the floor, sobbing, tears to, having bad thoughts again, right? Just up and down, really bad and really scary. And also my back is no longer straight from that accident. My hips are, it messed me up pretty bad. I couldn't lift a weight for about 8 months. I tried too early, and it made it even worse. But then, in spite of that, I started getting deeper into drinking, because now I can't train. I'm not involved in church at all. And you can ask one of my teammates, one of my best friends. He's my brother. His name's Jermaine Shinobi Anthony. That's his cage name. He's still competing in martial arts. I love that dude. He's my brother. But you can ask him, and you could ask his mother. There's been so many times where we would sit and we'd talk, and I'd tell him, I love this. I love a good fist fight, but I know what I was called to do. And this would be, I didn't have a church to go to, and I never planned on coming back, right? because I thought, like we talked about, I thought I ruined it.
Yeah.
Right. So I would tell him all the time, I know what I'm called to do, and I want to do what I'm called to do, but I'm stuck in this. And anyways, I'll just be talking sometimes. But so then this accident happens, and Jacqueline starts reaching out again, and because she had already started coming here. Then I think Alyssa started, or maybe one or the other started coming first.
Jack started first, and I remember you coming a couple of times.
Yeah, I came to Easter,
and dude came dapper as could be.
Yeah,
like in his nice,
I still know how to dress sometimes.
Beautiful, long, curly Nazareth hair, and a giant like.
My hair was long.
Yeah, dude. But I remember because I remember this time. I remember seeing you because, dude, I missed you.
Yeah,
like. We fell apart during this time, like we didn't maintain that connection as we grow on. And, on my end, looking at you and even Dustin, like I felt, because I was getting married, I was having kids, I was doing all these things.
Busy.
And I would see you guys and I would think, man, I was there then. Like, what if I would have been a voice of encouragement? Like that was what you were in another state, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I wish I could have been there more, you know? So like I had that kind of guilt too. And, but I remember when you walked in, I was just like, man, like I was so encouraged and all I could think of is I'm here now. He's here now.
Yep.
Do something, encourage him, help, like do something. And I'm like, I can't do anything. Like, I'm just trying. Like I just prayed with you. And I remember one of those services, I talked to you and I felt the Lord tell me to share scripture that, again, I've been off the caffeine for a while. I had an energy drink before we started this podcast, so things aren't firing. Starting to pick up a little.
Yeah.
But I remember the Lord told me, I can't quote the scripture off the top of my head, but it's that the Lord would, it's in, I can't quote it. It's slipping my mind, but it says the Lord will restore the lost years.
Yes.
Yeah. And he spoke that in my mind so clear.
I remember
he said,
that. I remember
Andrew
that conversation.
He said, I will restore the lost years. And man, I just, that the cankerworm, the palmer worm, the caterpillar, my great army that is devoured, that God would do a work in your life and he would, he would restore the years that were lost due to these reasons I had no idea about. And, Jacqueline starts bringing her whole family. Everybody starts coming back, and I'm like, look what God is doing, and we're all just rejoicing and so grateful. And we talked about you mentioned this earlier about from the aspect of the prodigal, how you were so grateful that your brother was there.
Yeah,
and man, like. There's so many ways that it could be preached, and you could find so much. Like you could read the word a million times and see a different thing each time. Destin talked about that. Like you can read the same story and get something revelatory out of it every time. And in some passages and some parables, you can get two sides of a lesson, and it doesn't contradict, but it can minister in different areas of life. And man, how helpful was it that you had people that weren't like, yeah, he did go too far. Or he did mess up too much. There's
let me touch on that topic, because I did have that too. And I would never say names. I had someone tell me to my face, you looked me in my face and told me that, hey, I messed my calling up too. It's okay. Just, keep serving the Lord. Maybe you messed it up, but God could do something else with you. And it was, luckily I'm a little more mature to understand that, and I knew that was false. And
it may have been well intended. Like,
I for sure think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was
people sometimes say things out of ignorance.
I think that's all it was. I didn't. That's why I said I'm thankful I kind of had a little bit of wisdom in this situation. And I responded to this individual and I said, yeah, but that's not my story. I said, I know what I was called to do, and I'd die if it wasn't going to happen. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't supposed to happen. And let that be can I Just plug that in there. No matter who you are, no matter what you've done, no matter how far you went, you're good. Like just get back to it.
Yeah.
Don't linger on that. If he called you, just get back. Just pick it up and get back to it. Find a pastor.
Yes.
Talk to him. Share your heart. But I don't think he takes his calling from us.
Romans 11:29 says, "For the giftings and the callings of God are without repentance."
Yes.
It means if you're called of it, you're called of it, regardless of what you do. Now, to be effective and operate in it, you have to have all the things that you touched on.
Yeah.
You have to have repentance. You have to have a change.
Yeah.
A change moment. You have to have spiritual submission. You have to have all those things that you touched on. But if you're called, you're called.
Get to it. And the thing is listen, you're wrong. That's okay. You're wrong. That was the hard thing for me, is to tell people I was wrong. Mm-hmm. And if you this isn't for everybody, but whoever maybe the Lord's dealing with in this podcast, it's okay if you was wrong, as long as you just do it right now. You know, that's why he says confess, like just own up to it and then get back to the plow. You know.
Yeah, man. So you had that. So Jacqueline starts reaching back out.
Yeah, and I would come here and there, and I was just tore up and with my life, and I didn't want this to happen. Like I wasn't happy with who I was. Right. Matter of fact, I had after the fight that I won, someone commented. A dear friend of mine, loved this guy. He commented on the post of me celebrating on Instagram or whatever, and this was like one of the things right before I deleted my social media. He commented on it, and it was a picture of me. It's a really cool picture. I'm not gonna lie, from like a fighter standpoint. And he said, "That's a bad man right there." And I didn't like the way I felt, because what happened in that fight, it was ground and pound, and I saw the guy's eyes go out, and I saw him wake back up, and I saw him go back out, and I saw him wake up again, all in a span of maybe. And I was looking in his eyes. I'm on top of him. I'm the one doing it.
Where you at, Herb Dean? Dang.
Yeah, I know. Well, while it was happening, I started crying, and nobody probably would know that, but as I was finishing the fight, I had tears welling up in my eyes.
You know, it makes me think of Uriah Hall. Do you remember Uriah Hall? He did The Ultimate Fighter a couple years ago now. Yeah. And he was like the next Anderson Silva, and he did like a spinning back click.
Yeah, devastating.
Like the gnarliest knockout I've ever seen, and he said it changed him.
Yeah, and even Rory McDonald, I don't know if he's still competing or not. Do you know who that? Rory McDonald had that real bad fight with Robbie Lawler. Yeah. He started turning to the Lord, and I don't know if he even fights no more.
Yeah,
because
I don't think so.
When the Lord gets a hold of your heart and calls you, it softens your heart. And when in that fight, now I'm not saying this was the process of time. This isn't what happened at that time, but it broke my heart seeing me doing this to this guy who I had no issue with. He was funny, like cool guy. You know, he come over, took a picture with me after, like, "Hey, thanks for fighting me," like just funny. Like MMA guys are weird.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta be a little crazy.
Yeah, you gotta be loose in the head to do it, and it's a weird thing. I'm so thankful that I had those experiences. But anyways, that changed. I wasn't done fighting. I still like a good fight, right? But at that time, it broke my heart hitting him like that, and I was just like, I remember. Not long after, I was talking to my buddy Jermaine again. I even told him, I was like, "Man, I was called to preach the gospel, man. I wasn't called to do this. I like this. It's fun, but I don't say where my heart is, you know." And that was a hard pill to swallow too, because especially when your name's tied to that, you gotta be a tough guy. You know, I'm a cage fighter, all that stupid stuff. But anyways, where was I? So you put that energy drink in me.
It's okay. So you're coming back at this point. You had the moments, the low moments, and now.
So I was done with. I was fed up. I had a contrite spirit or heart or whatever you would want to say it, but I was ready for it to change. And I come here and I got, my sister sent me a text because she saw me. She said, Jacqueline, she texted me and said, Andrew, why has your countenance fallen? And I was just like, what does that even mean? And I was like, why do you say that? She said, Andrew, you don't have peace and you don't have joy. And at this point, like, I'm developed, like, you know, I'm a cool guy. You know what I mean? I'm a cage fighter or whatever, like whatever. But it wasn't there. And that hit me. I was like, I text her and I back and I was like, well, because I don't have peace and I don't have joy. I hate it here. And very soon after that, I come to church and I couldn't even tell you what the message was about, but I come up to the front and it was a dull service. Like, you know how, I don't want to say that, but it was like for me, it was a dull service. The preaching wasn't hitting, the worship service wasn't hitting me, nothing. But I couldn't wait till preaching was over so I could go up to the front. Because even though we don't build altars, that's our altar, right? So I went up and I prayed, God, I need you. I cannot get out of this without you. And a lot of what I was talking about was the drinking. But it wasn't just that, it was all of it. Like, God, I don't want to be this person no more. Because I fell into some, you know, things that I will never even talk about. Yeah. Unless the Lord literally told me to talk about. And I just said, I need you. I'm desperate. I remember saying to him, I'm desperate and I cannot do this without you. That whole time I was praying, I couldn't wait to go buy a bottle of Jameson. That's what I liked. And I'm walking out and I just see Pastor and he's like, hey, love you, buddy. And I walk up, hug him, tell him, I love you. And say, hey, will you pray for me? Because when I leave here, I feel like I'm going to have a fight. Because I already was fighting it. I already felt it in my heart. I was addicted. I was bad. I would fiend for it. And he was like, yeah, I'll pray for you. I love you, buddy. And I started walking away. Almost like, now I don't know, but almost like the Lord spoke to him. He called out to me as I was walking away. He said, Andrew, this time don't fight. Let God do this one. I went home and that was one of the most depressing days of my life. And I haven't struggled with alcohol since.
That's awesome. Wow. Praise the Lord.
Right. And I'm not going to sit here and, you know, lie and say I haven't drank since or whatever. But at this point, the struggle went away. You know what I mean? And there was a process of time of purifying things, and still under that. You know, I will say I'm sober, completely sober. God's taken that out of my heart. You know, drugs, that even like the nicotine pouches, all cold turkey. He's taken that out of my heart. And just a lot of other things. But what happened was whenever I finally come back, when he did that and I started like resubmitting, I realized what we mean when we say he is faithful. Because when I'm not.
Yeah.
Just like the prodigal's father, he's waiting. And as soon as you turn, he's there. And I learned what his faithfulness meant. Man. And now it's just a uphill climb, you know? It's so many attacks. You know, the devil's not happy. Yeah.
But dude, look what the Lord has done.
Look what the Lord's been doing.
And man, what a testimony.
Yeah. So grateful. Like rejoicing all the time. Every time I see you, I'm like, thank God. And it's not over. God's about to blow it up. And speaking of which, like, you went through all of that. God set you on the right path. You're under authority now. You're doing great things. And you didn't give up the gym. I mean, you gave up the fighting career, but you do the gym thing. Now you plugged him a while ago. But, you know, on Easter, you had 20 people from your gym just pop in, and a couple of them got baptized and received the Holy Ghost. So you're turning a thing that was a hobby and a career path, honestly, into a.
Thank you, Lord, because it's cool. It's fun. It's something I like. I like. It's not labor. It's laborious, but it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's turned into a ministry too,
For sure.
which is incredible. Like souls are being won at the gym.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's the coolest thing, and it's not just. I mean, there's a couple who are locked in, and we continue to try to disciple however we can, right, and teach and show them. But there's a couple that are locked in.
That's so awesome.
I mean,
so you go from fighting addiction, fighting depression, fighting anxiety, fighting people, to now filling the pews with people in spite of all of those things. Dude, that is incredible.
But and what what a testament to, like I said, his faithfulness. He'll turn it around. But we have to take accountability, to like not, this is not by my power. I'm telling you right now, I could not have stopped drinking without him. I'm telling you all this stuff, but we have to take accountability, and we do have to repent. We have to turn, and I will never not say that. Yes, he loves you, but he loves you so much that he thinks better of you than what you think of yourself. So you don't have to live the way you think you want to. Help me say that. Like
you're good. You're good in what you're saying. He loves you enough to not leave you the way that you are.
He loves you enough to not leave you the way that you are.
In your perception, with all of I had no idea. Like a lot of this is the first time I'm hearing it, and I would have chose the opening hook stories a little more appropriately, but it does tie in.
No, they were great.
I do feel to say this though, if you're in that moment of chaos where everything seems shaken, the answer is never to do what. The answer is to never end it for yourself. I'm trying to be very careful because we'll get flagged for how we say things,
really?
But that's never the answer. If you're going through it, if you're going through anxiety, if you're going through depression, if you're going through a low season like this, the answer is never to end. The answer is not ever that. It's to find. We are on this all the time.
Yeah.
Call your brother.
Yeah.
And if
Call
I may,
your sister.
If I may, I don't care if you're in Texas. I don't care where you're at. We don't know you, but I want you to know we love you. And I'm not just saying that to be like cool and to try to fit the theme of where we're heading in this. No, literally, God calls us to intercessory prayer for people we don't know.
Yeah.
And we love you, and we are praying for you. We might not know you specifically, but if you see this and God's speaking to you, reach out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Comment or however it works.
100%.
I'm not too smart on social media stuff and how this all works, but get a hold of us because we will pray. Like
Absolutely.
we will pray.
Yeah.
Because I needed someone to pray for me, so I'm willing to do that for you.
And you have people interceding, and it made all the difference.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to say that because we've touched on the topic a couple of times in this episode. It's never the answer. Reach out. Obviously, have a relationship with God, but reach out.
You said it in the best way. It's a season. It may seem like it's never going to end. It may seem like it's a struggle that you're fighting forever, but it's a season. And to make that choice is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yeah.
It may not seem temporary, but it is. You can pull through it.
Yeah.
And you will pull through it.
And like everyone goes through that, and everyone handles it differently. I had a real low season, and I never backslid, never left the church. But I did have a moment where everything that seemed like it was that could be shaken was shaken, and everyone was dying in my family. Like yesterday was the 6th-year anniversary of my father-in-law passing during 2019 or 2020, and it was there during the lockdown, and just sudden aneurysm, heart attack. And we had been staying with my in-laws throughout the lockdown because we just had our kid, our second child. We just had Kendall, and we wanted to be with family while we were quarantining. We didn't want to be alone, so we went and stayed with them for a couple of weeks. And we decided to go back to the Carson's house for a weekend. And we came home because that's where we were living. We were living in Brother Carson's house, and we went back home for that weekend. And I remember like just the day before he was helping me do yard work. And we went home, we got settled back into our life at the house, and we get a phone call the very next day that my mother-in-law found my father-in-law gone. And I remember the weight of that phone was so heavy, and I had to tell my wife what happened. And we drive out, and we've, you know, it was just a hard season. And just months before that, my nan passed away, and she was my mom growing up, died during the pandemic, and she was living in Texas at the time, so I didn't even get to see her. I had to do the eulogy over a Zoom call, and then my uncle passed, and there was just like a stream of it was loss after loss after loss. And I was thinking, you know, it got to the point where every phone call I was like, who died?
Yeah.
And it was every phone call my sister would make, and my uncle, and you know, my aunt, and just it was person after person. And I just remember thinking like, I was getting depressed, and we were locked down, and I couldn't be around people.
Yeah.
And it was one of the hardest seasons I had. All I had was my wife and my close friends that we broke the rules, and we would get together and play games and eat wings and stuff. But I remember going fishing with David, and people had come over, pastor had come over and prayed for us, and you know, sent food and all the things. But I remember going fishing for steelhead with David when I found out that my grandma was passing. And we were just sitting on the banks of Conneaut River and trying to catch steelhead. And I get the phone call, and I just remember sitting there, and he goes, "Hey man, I'm telling him what's happening." I was like, "She's on the ventilator. They're about to take her off." And he looks at me, and he said, "I don't think I have anything to say, man. Like, I don't know how to say what I want to say, but I'm here for you." That's all he said. And dude, in that moment, all I needed was someone to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't need words. I didn't need encouragement. I didn't need any of that. I was just going through this season, and what I needed most was just a brother to be there with me.
Yeah.
Just be in the room with me, sit with me on this muddy bank of this river, and just be there with me. And because I had that, it helped me get through some of the toughest times of my life. And in every one of those instances, I had some close friends. Even though we were in a time of chaos, I had some close friends that I could call and be like, "Hey, I just need to sit with you. Can you just come over?" You know? And so to have that, so I say all that just to say this, like, if you're in a low season, you have people that love you and care about you. And Andrew, your story really shouts that out, you know, like with how Jacqueline was always there for you, and you had people that are praying for you that you didn't even know were praying for you.
Yeah.
And it made all the difference.
Yeah. And it does, man. And, you know, even just like the way you guys received me when I come home, you know, this was not my church. This was not my church growing up. But when I walked in, you know, like, you guys you never, no judgment, none of that. It was just, you guys were just, and I even told somebody this who, I believe the Lord's calling them home. This place just wants to see you be okay. And what we know is you're always okay when you're in the hands of the Lord, right? Yeah. And I learned that it was hard for me to admit I was wrong. But when I put my pride down, said I was wrong, and and I'm speaking, you know, I can speak for First Apostolic Church of Talmadge, specifically, because that's my story. And I don't care how far away you live, you can come here too. These people here are just happy to see you come home. That just come home.
Yeah. Because
God is calling his prodigals home. And, you know, I'm not nothing special, but I feel that the Lord wants that to be relayed, is that you can come here. It don't matter how far you went, how dark it got, how confused you are. Come sit down with us. Let's pray and talk. we love you and we want you to come home. And if you're dealing with the things that we're talking about, with struggles in this life, come here. I can testify that this church here is a group of people who pray, love the Lord, are accountable to themselves and the Lord, but beyond everything else, they will love you. And I'm so grateful for people who will love me because I need it.
Amen. And with that, we got an ad. Don't go anywhere. Hey, it's storm season here in Northeast Ohio. If your roof has taken any damage whatsoever, if it looks sketchy at all, make sure that you call Heritage Roofing Company. Aaron's been on the show before. He's an honest, hardworking man. The company is veteran owned. They take care of people first, and that's why we love working with them so much. Make sure that you tell them that the Casting Faith podcast sent you, and he'll give you a free inspection on your roof. That's Heritage Roofing Company. You can go to roofsbyheritage.com. Welcome back. All right, we're back from our break, and we have a game. After such an amazing testimony, it's almost crazy to go here, but we're going to shift gears real quick.
Let's do this.
And we're going to play our game called Florida Man versus Ohio Man. I'm going to read a headline, and it's going to be the notorious cage fighter versus the guy who knocked me out in my living room pretending to be a cage fighter.
Hey, I feel like the last couple times we've played this, it's been somebody from Louisiana, though. I feel like we need to kind of change this up and do Buckeyes versus Tigers here instead of Buckeyes and Gators.
Maybe next round. Maybe next time we'll switch it up. But Florida Man is notorious. So the game is Florida Man versus Ohio Man. I'm going to read a headline. You guys have to decide. Okay?
I'm ready.
So on
this.
3, you're going to say, I'll read the headline, and on 3, you're going to say the answer, okay?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, Florida Man or Ohio Man? A man secretly... Okay, here we go. Sorry. A man secretly lived inside of a furniture store for 11 days, switching to new display beds each night and eating from the cafeteria. Is this a Florida man or Ohio man? Again, a man lived inside a furniture store for 11 days and he was switching to a new display bed every night. Is this a Florida man or Ohio man? You guys ready? 3, 2, 1.
Ohio.
This was a Florida man.
What?
Okay.
This was a Florida man. He had here's the funny part. Dude had a favorite bed. So he would stay.
Fair enough.
I'm not mad at him.
He stayed 11 nights. First of all, he got away with staying for 11 nights.
Yeah.
And he was like, I found the right one.
I get it.
It was that that Helix sleep mattress or something,
So
not
do you
a
remember,
sponsor,
this is probably about like 10 years
quality.
ago, but it was like one of those like viral internet challenges where you could go in and see how long you could stay in in the store. When I worked at Home Depot, that was something that was going on, and people would build like forts out of the insulation, the big pink foam insulation
I know
rolls,
what you're talking about.
and hide in there until like they get caught.
Yeah.
We had somebody, they didn't stay too late, but we had somebody try and do it, kind of similar thing. They weren't sleeping on beds or anything though.
Just cardboard boxes outside the store. No, I'm kidding.
But that's a good idea if you ever need somewhere to stay. Just try your
So
luck.
this guy was from Orlando. His name was Randy, which checks out.
makes sense.
For sure. Makes sense.
I could see Randy.
So Randy
from Orlando.
Shout out Randy.
Shout out to Randy. He got stuck in an IKEA after closing and just decided,
Man,
I'm
that's
going
an
to stay
easy place
here.
to get away with it.
Oh,
though.
man.
Yeah.
You go into IKEA, you get lost.
He slept in a different display bed every night and ate he ate in the cafeteria every day. Even
Good for him.
He even
For sure.
reorganized.
That's a good vacation.
100%. Reorganized and set up some furniture displays. Employees didn't even realize this until
Like,
day
that's
8.
My kind of guy right there.
Day
that's
8,
sweet.
they were like,
I'm
this guy's
inspired.
here's a lot. He's here a lot by day 8 because he just blended in as a customer. Just like one of
that's
them.
that's
Good for
actually
him.
encouraging that.
One of them IKEA mattress
I love
ninjas, just disappeared. All right, so that was a Florida man. All right, next one. Are we ready? You guys ready?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Florida man or Ohio man? A man broke into a gym at 3 a.m. to finish his last set,
That was Andrew.
and then
I actually know the answer to this one.
finish his last set, and then he wiped down the bench before getting arrested. So, Florida man, Ohio man, a man breaks into his gym at 3 a.m. to finish his last set, and then wiped down the bench
That's a
before
hard
getting
one.
arrested. Is this a Florida man or Ohio man?
I'm
going Ohio.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ohio, but I'll go Florida. I'll change it up.
Are we locked?
I'm locked.
Yep.
All right, Ohio. You say Ohio. You say Florida.
Ohio.
This was a Florida man.
What?
Crazy. So this was in
We
Florida.
got to step up our game, Ohio.
Well, I say it all the time. Is all the Florida men are just the Ohio people
That's
that
it.
move for weather,
That's it.
better weather. But this was in Tampa. Honestly, like respect the gains. You know.
Yeah.
Respect
Yeah. I
the
mean, hey,
gains.
no, honestly, I work in a gym and I have for 9 years. So shout out to you for wiping the machine down. That's awesome.
I mean, is it too much to ask for?
He should get a free
Get a
membership when he
pass.
gets out of. Well, I mean, he probably didn't spend a lot of time for that.
I mean,
right?
well,
Probably just got a fine or
So
something.
this was in Tampa. His name was Ryder. His membership got shut off at midnight, or his like membership ran out at midnight.
Oh man!
And so he was one short. He was one rep short, and he sat in the parking lot for 2 hours just tweaking on pre-workout. Probably, I don't know, but he's like in the parking lot for 2 hours. Came back at 3:15, broke into the glass doors, loaded 225 on the bench, benched his last set, wiped everything down, and he was literally still cleaning up when the cops.
Is it
arrived.
reported down to the how many reps he needed?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
'Cause-
All I know is Ryder. Ryder got his
Shout out
setting.
Ryder.
Shout out to Ryder.
Go back to the cop standpoint here.
How are you gonna get pulled over for a bike, but dude can get?
Well,
Yeah.
not even that. Can you imagine being the cop that pulls up and the guy's like, I just needed to get another rep in?
Respect.
Like I get it, bro. Like, did you get protein? You want to stop and get a shake or something? That's what I like. You got to get them.
I mean,
you got to
yeah.
fuel up after.
I guess just go find one of those 24-hour gyms.
I don't know,
Yeah.
some push-ups
You could've
maybe.
done
I
that
don't know.
too.
Just yeah, exactly. Could have been like, but,
Hey, don't try that at Powerhouse if you
you know, you'll get flying armbarred real
by
quick.
Charlie,
But-
which means you'll be perfectly safe. just
yeah, I'll
just
probably
slam
get
him.
another concussion. Just pick me up though. That's gonna be harder these days to be truthful. Like I'm pretty heavy.
That's
right
funny,
now.
though.
That's awesome. But yeah, Florida man, Florida's doing its work right
Yeah,
now.
they're killers down there.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Next one.
Okay. Florida man or Ohio man? A man ran a full wrestling league from a restaurant parking lot with a full roster, a championship belt, and he even sold tickets to the event.
Ohio for
That's gotta be
sure.
Florida.
That's got to be Ohio, dude. I'm sticking to my guns on Ohio for this one.
It's a Florida man. David just I can't put you up against the guests anymore.
I always lose when I play against you.
I know.
Dude,
So here's the story. You guys ready? It was in Pensacola. A guy named Terry. Shout out Terry.
yeah, for sure.
Terry
Shout out
builds
Terry.
a full wrestling ring out of PVC and plywood in a Golden Corral parking lot.
That's
go.
sick.
Had 8 wrestlers lined up, match cards. He even had a belt made himself, and he charged $5 a ticket at the door.
That's awesome.
Would you go?
100%.
Yeah, I know. I probably would too.
100%.
This is like professional wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like WWE
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
100%. But he had over 1,400 people following the league online. So not
No
only
way.
did he have it in the parking lot, but he's televising it online.
Man,
Not
what a
televising,
business
like
model.
streaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Go get some buffet and then go watch some wrestling. I feel
we
like
should
you're-
try that.
That's the
We should try that
clientele.
with MMA
Try it.
here.
Yeah. We'll see about that. But the police shut it down, obviously. But
Yeah.
Man, that's close to that
It's kind
Alabama
of a
border
theme.
too. That's
Police be pulling up.
yeah, that's the theme of the episode, I think. No,
All
that's crazy. That makes me think of that micro wrestling that we went.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
He
man.
tried to get me to go. I was like, dude, I can't go.
Man, that
That's
was so
crazy.
fun.
What was the name of the guy? What was the one that
Which
wanted
one?
that was hustling for like the signature? Like somebody wanted to buy. I think Justin wanted to buy a T-shirt, and he was like,
Hot
what-
Rod.
and he wanted to get the signature. and he was like, no, that'll be an extra $50. Like, whoa, man! Like,
Jeez,
I mean, make
50
money. Why not?
for sure.
yeah, it's funny. All right,
Those
ready?
are some strong dudes. I'm sorry, but those dudes are strong.
Oh, for sure.
Side note.
For
100%. All right, just don't look at my computer. It's hard to
All right,
do this. Okay, all right, here we go. Ready?
ready.
Florida man or Ohio? So David, you're up. What? Two, and you got.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We don't need to talk about that.
Florida man, Ohio man. A man calls 911 because his fast food order was wrong.
Ohio.
Ohio man or Florida man?
That's Ohio. I know I'm trying to like That's Ohio, dude.
It has to be, right?
I think the reason I'm picking Ohio is because I live here and I relate to all of these stories.
It is 100% an Ohio man.
Okay.
So this happens way more than you think. Like people just get crazy over it. So this guy got mad that his fast food order was messed up. He calls 911 to complain and actually expected dispatch to come out and fix it. It's like, dude, sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like why are you?
That's crazy.
Please showed up and basically.
But I
told
get
him,
it, dude.
hey,
Like
this is not what 911's for.
I get it, bro. Sometimes if I order a listen, and you can ask my family.
Baconator.
If I get a Baconator and I say I want barbecue sauce because Wendy's barbecue sauce goes with Wendy's food, and you don't give it to me, don't tell me to get the Sweet Baby Ray's out of the fridge.
You ruined
I
the
agree.
day. It's the same.
It's like someone lit a fire in my chest.
You had one job.
It's just a packet of sauce.
It's your one job.
That's it.
You didn't give me the ranch with my nuggies. You ruined it. You can have it back. I don't even want them anymore.
Bro.
Speaking of which, remember that time with the UFC fights that we had?
I remember it well.
McDonald's had a thing where they sold 50 chicken nuggets.
I remember that.
We would get them every time, and we would eat all 50 chicken nuggets each. We would both get a
Play
set
the
of 50.
UFC video game.
And we play UFC Undisputed on the video
Classic.
game.
That was a good
And
game.
we would drink Circle K dollar energy drink. They don't even make those anymore, but they were like these dollar off-brand energy drinks. And that's how we would spend our
They were
weekend.
probably so good, though. They probably
was good.
taste so good.
Tasted like cherry
Yeah,
slushies.
for sure.
Yep.
That's
And
the best.
limeades.
A lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar. A lot of sugar in those.
We love that.
But yeah,
those,
dude.
You had those catfish in that tank in your room.
I did. I caught these baby catfish from Magota Reservoir and I threw them in my fish tank and I had
That's some Florida man stuff right there.
but I kept them alive for like months. Like
Really?
they lived for a really long time.
Did they get bigger?
No, they didn't.
No.
They just stayed kind of small and then they died. I fed my frogs lightning bugs one time and they died.
Put white out on a bee and it died.
All right, next round. Florida man, Ohio man.
Science.
Florida for science. Florida man, Ohio man. This one's insane. I'm gonna have a hard time. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. A man gets detained because he tried bringing 19 pounds of pulled pork through an airport security labeled Project Files Confidential. I'll say that one more time. Man gets detained at airport because he tried bringing 19 pounds of pulled pork through the airport as a carry-on with it was labeled Project Files Confidential.
The pulled pork was labeled.
The pulled pork that he brought was labeled
What did they think it
Confidential
was? No,
files.
I'll get to that in a minute.
The label screams Florida man to me.
I'm going to say Ohio.
Really?
Okay, so real
He's
quick,
gonna get it right.
the tiebreaker went to Andrew because you were up. I feel like that's fair. So it's 1-2 right now. So this is the head. I'm gonna say it one more time. The Florida man, Ohio man. A man tried to bring 19 pounds of pulled pork through an airport security, and it was labeled Project Files Confidential. And you said
I gotta go Florida man.
I said Ohio.
it's a Florida man.
Let's go.
So 2-2.
I want to know what they thought it was. 19 pounds?
19
a file?
pound. Timeout. First of all, 19 pounds of pulled pork.
That's a lot of pulled pork.
That's a lot of pork.
That's a lot. That's a lot of pork, and you're gonna smell that.
Oh, for sure.
So this guy, he slow cooked the pulled pork for like 14 hours, vacuum sealed each individual pack, threw it all into a suitcase, and labeled the portions. He put it on not in a suitcase, but a laptop bag. And TSA rules. He had TSA rules printed out stating that meat wasn't a banned thing to carry. So he came with receipts.
I mean, good for him.
Like-
Good for doing his homework.
He did his homework. He printed out the rules that said you can't not let me bring my confidential meat.
So
back.
what happened?
So he was.
They let him go.
I think so. Yeah. So his meat.
Did it say
meat
where he was
wasn't
going?
banned. He literally argued the case, and I think he passed. So it's pretty
That's
crazy.
I'm
Confidential.
Man, can you imagine
Heroic.
being sitting next to that
But
guy on
of
the
all
plane,
the
though?
things to label it, you're gonna say confidential
Right.
files. Come on, dude.
Yeah, that's
like,
wild.
what are you gonna?
You're setting yourself
You're setting
up for
yourself
that.
up for a problem.
That's probably why he printed off the rules, though. He knew what was going to
He
happen.
knew.
yeah.
He was
This was a plot.
he was mining for the headlines.
Yeah, dude.
Did it say where he was going? That's what I want to know.
But it was a Florida man, so apparently maybe back to Florida. So
Or maybe leaving for
Or maybe
maybe
he was coming to Ohio.
All right, so 2-2. We got tie game
Oh,
here.
man.
Round 5. Are you ready?
I'm nervous.
Florida. No, I already did that one. Round 6. Florida man versus Ohio man. Florida man versus Ohio man. Okay, similar. So this is going to trip you up because it's similar to the other one. But a man lived inside a store for days and started helping customers like he worked at the store.
That's
Is this a Florida man or Ohio man? So man lives inside of a store for days and starts working there helping customers.
I'm going to say Ohio. It seems very Midwestern-y.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go Florida.
Are we locked?
Yeah, lock it in.
Locked in?
Yeah.
This was a Florida man. 3-2. Dude started giving advice. I just burped into the microphone, but dude started giving advice like he was working there. So similar to the IKEA situation, he blended in so well that customers started asking for help, and he was actually giving good advice on where the furniture and stuff was, like he worked there. Staff thought he was just really committed
Well,
to the store until they realized he never left. Time out, though.
their job got easier. That's why
Here's
they
what
didn't-
I'm saying. Give the guy a job.
Give him a
Give
job.
him a job. Why not? First of all, if you can stay in a store for
Respect the
days,
hustle.
man, hire that man.
You know what I'm saying?
Hire Terry. I don't know.
Is his name Terry?
I don't know what his
I was
name
going
is.
to say, because if it was, that'd be wild too, because all these Terrys.
all these Randy's, Terry's,
Randy's,
Yeah.
Terry.
yeah,
Common theme
Yeah.
here.
Ends with a Y.
it's funny. But anyways, Andrew takes it like last minute.
Let's go.
The comeback.
The comeback king. It's fitting for this episode. But you know what we always say: Florida man is just Ohio man who moved for nice weather. That's all
I
it
don't
is.
blame him.
Not at all. Especially the weather we've been having. I mean,
Yeah, dude.
it don't make
It's been
it don't make
tough.
sense.
I've been wanting to get out fishing. Everyone's catching. Sean's sending pictures left and right
Yeah,
of
Sean's
these
doing good
beastly
now.
fish, and I'm like, I have yet to leave my house to do anything. Like I have not been on the water yet.
Just baseball for me, man. We got a tournament this weekend. It's supposed to be 48.
Oh,
Kids
dude.
playing baseball out in 40. It just not fun.
That sounds
not fun.
so
That
Yeah,
rain.
that's rough. I'm tired. I don't like the cold weather.
Nope, me either.
I will say I'm soft when it comes to that.
So this is the part of the show. We went way longer today, and that's completely okay. I think it was necessary and needed. But this is the last cast. This is what we call it, last cast.
Okay.
And man, what a conversation!
Yeah.
and what a great testimony. And
Absolutely.
man, if there's one thing to take away, just no matter, my last cast is this: no matter how far you drift, you're never too far gone. You're never too far gone to come back. And when you do, God can use your story in ways you never thought possible. And Andrew, seriously, thank you for like being real with us today.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was powerful. So that's my last cast. You're not too far gone. If you're out there and you're in a low season, you have people praying for you and you're not too far gone. So anything
sure.
else you guys want to?
No, I think you nailed it. That's perfect.
No, we all three agree on that. Thanks for having me on. Dude, this was my first time ever doing something like this. This is cool. I would love to come back, and
100%.
you know, obviously I'm a talker. It's probably going to be one of the longest podcasts you have.
I think
but-
John has that right now.
Does he? Okay, cool. Let him keep that. That's good.
We'll see. We'll have to see how this shakes out. But yeah,
But we could do this again, and there's a lot more. Just God's just there. You never run out of how often God is just good, and how often He shows Himself faithful. So that I could tell you, there's so many other stories I could get into, and I love to talk. I'm a yapper, is what they call it, So thanks for having me on. Just to second what he said, just keep going. If you feel like you're far away, if you feel like you. Dude, just come home. We are here for you, and that's if I can have my own. That's my last cast. If
100%.
Just come home, and whoever you are, wherever you're at, I found a church that loved me when I came home. So you're welcome with us. You can sit with me.
100%. And to just re-echo what I said to you, God will restore the lost years. You're not too far gone. We want to thank our sponsors today. Also, well, shout out to Backbone Coffee, hooking Andrew up with some Graveyard Shift. That's one of my
we love
faves.
coffee around here too. So
100%, dude, love it. It's
shout
great.
out to the Louisiana boys too.
Yeah, Cam.
I just found that out.
100%.
Shout out Cam. I want to meet you one day.
He's coming to Ohio, so
Sick.
to hang out all together. But man, Backbone Coffee is the coffee, dude. Honestly,
It
like
smells good.
it's affordable. Like when he first sent us our samples before they sponsored the show, I was blown away with how they got such a good coffee for such a good price.
Yeah.
Because you could get a similar close taste to this, but you're gonna spend like $23 a bag or something.
It's bad.
And this is affordable.
And for a guy like me, I go through it, so I'm really excited to give this a go. And
Yeah. If you don't like that blend, they have like 5 different blends now, and you'll find one that you'll love. I'm sure of that. But shout out to Backbone Coffee. The link is in the description. If you love coffee and you want to support the show, this is a super easy way to support the show. You're already giving your money to coffee at some point, you know, so you might as well support the Cast and Faith podcast and get a quality coffee for a good price and from great people. And so shout out to Backbone. Also, First Phorm, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You're like working in a gym,
I
so
love
you could
this stuff.
do some work here, you know?
let me say, I ordered that clear protein.
Formula One
The
Clear.
Formula One Clear. Okay, listen.
Game
I have a
changer.
sensitive stomach because of what part of all of my testimony I told you, right? That stuff is so good. And I work in a powerhouse gym, okay? So we get the best of the best stuff. And we're contemplating reaching out. If I'm trying to get my manager to do it. He is fancying the idea, but that stuff is legit.
So we'll talk more about this off air, but I got an idea for that.
Okay,
Benefit
perfect.
us all. So that'd be
Let's
great.
talk.
But seriously, I'll give. Do you like Almond Joy?
Yeah. Yep. I'm a coconut guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you go ahead and crack that open.
Right
this
now.
is do it right now.
Yep,
This is a Power Pro bar.
it's a good one.
This is one of my favorite things. Now, this really is like a snack, but it's a healthy snack.
reaction.
This is a live reaction. Here we go. So we got the Power Pro bar. This is the coconut chocolate chip version. It's got 15
Look
grams
at
of
me.
protein.
I get chocolate everywhere.
It's all right.
I'm like a kid, bro.
It's so good. Now you've
I'll
had
sit
some,
here staring at you chew.
I'll let you chew, but we've all had protein bars, and some bars are like, you know, they just get the job done with that 20 grams.
And I'm hard on protein bars.
You got to just do it because you need it, right? It's a quick, healthy snack. Whatever.
Sometimes you're just eating a piece of chalk.
Sometimes
Yeah, for
you're
sure.
just chewing into that Laffy Taffy bar that tastes not like Laffy Taffy.
I don't love protein bars. I'll tell you that. This is really good. And I'm not just saying that. Like, it's actually really good.
like a candy bar.
It's not chalky. Yeah. It's not chalky at all.
So the cool
I
thing,
could for sure eat these all the time.
that's it's a whole food bar. So it's
I was
like
going to say
actual
it has to
ingredients.
be.
So it's like I made this
Almond butter or
analogy
something,
before,
maybe?
but it's like almost like a no bake type consistency. But it's got like the actual coconut in it, and it's got actual chocolate chips, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
got
good.
peanut butter, all
Good
kinds of
stuff.
good stuff in it. It's very good. I should have asked you if you had a food allergy before I like started chucking bars at you. But
I'm
so
from
good.
Louisiana, brother.
So good.
I'll eat anything.
The
even
food
if I
allergy
didn't have
has
a food
me,
allergy.
boy.
Yeah, it has me, boy. Yep. Oh, so good.
But man, one of my favorite. They're like, I have to be careful. I'll eat them like candy bars, but they're so good, dude. I love them. So those are my two recommend. I got 3 main First Phorm products that I use every day. I use the Formula One Clear every day. My favorite flavor. I love them all. There's grape. There's lemonade. There's strawberry, or strawberry lime. And there is rainbow sherbet,
That's what I
and they
got.
are all spot on and just delicious. They mix like a sports drink, and they've removed all like the lactose from it, so it's easy on your stomach. 20 grams of protein, 90 calories. What are we doing? You know, like it's amazing. And creatine is such a staple. If you're lifting or not, take creatine. It's good. There's so many studies on it being good for your cognitive health, for brain fog, for sleep. Like if you're not sleeping great and you're taking creatine, it'll help reduce the effects of brain fog and all the things. And so, yes, they're a sponsor, but they all have great quality supplements that are safe for athletes to use, and all of the things. But shout out to Phorm for supporting our show. And if you want to try any of these things, firstphorm.com/castingfaith. If you use that link, you go a long way into helping our show.
That, and we talked about a little bit of the cold weather, the crazy weather we've had lately here in Northeast Ohio. If you've had any type of damage to your roof, your house, your siding, your gutters, give Heritage a call. Aaron will help you out. He's a good, trustworthy guy. He'll come out, give you a quote, and get you taken care of. Also, Great Lakes Fishing Expo. I know we talk about it a ton, but we are getting excited. We're still a good amount of time away from the show, but getting excited to be out there and doing the live stuff, the interviews, and seeing all the friends we met last year.
100%. It's going to be a great time. We invite all of, I don't know, you 3,750 listeners right now. If you guys are in the area, or if you're not in the area, come meet us.
Come on out.
Come do a meet. We'll do a meet and greet. We'll do
if
some
you
content.
fish, you're going to have fun at the show.
And we're going to make it fun. We'll bring all this stuff. We'll have some coffee. We'll have some energy drinks. We'll have all the things. We'll talk faith. We'll talk fish. We'll talk everyday life. It's going to be a great time.
I'm sorry, I zoned out. That bar is so good. When was it?
It's in January.
February, I think.
February?
Let me look it up.
I want to say that it changed to January this year.
Coming 2027. It is the 4th annual Great Lakes Fishing Expo. Where's the date? This is great podcasting.
We'll get you the date.
If you guys need an extra set of hands, let me know.
Yeah,
100%.
That's cool.
Come hang out with
I like
us.
fishing.
I don't know the date. I want to say
we'll
it's
take you up on
February.
that for sure.
But it's gonna be a great time. We're so grateful for all of our listeners. Here's the biggest thing, guys. Like, if you're still listening after all those plugs, you really want to support our show. We got merch for sale on our website. We got all the links in the description for all these things that we said. But if you really want to support the show, here's what you do. You share this episode with 5 people. Share this episode with 5 people. Write a comment in the comment section. Let us know that you're there. We'll respond. We'll talk to everybody in the comment section. Leave a review. If you're listening audio only, if you're on Apple right now or you're on Spotify right now, go ahead and leave a 5-star review and we'll shout you out in the next episode. We're doing a thing, and this is the last we will announce next episode the winner of our April challenge. If you commented in all 4 episodes in April, you guys are one of you will be getting a care package from the Casting Faith podcast. So if you're not on YouTube, go to YouTube, write a comment in each of our April episodes, and you'll be entered in for a drawing. But we want to thank you guys for listening and Casting Faith.
Hey, what's awesome too, just real quick about sharing this specific episode, it's not only going to benefit our show, you share it with 5 people, it's going to benefit those 5 people as well.
100%.
Andrew's testimony is so powerful, and it's going to affect people in a lot of different ways. So share it beyond just getting our show out there. Share it with somebody that needs to hear it.
Right. This is the one to share, especially with people going through tough times. Share this episode. But we're grateful. Thank you so much, Andrew, for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Shout out to your gym one more time.
Powerhouse Gym, North Canton, Ohio. If you're ever in the area, stop, see me.
Can you teach me how to throw an actual arm bar?
I could do that, yeah.
I'm not fighting anymore.
But yeah, come see me at the gym if you are interested in lessons. I do private sessions for boxing and kickboxing. We're laying the foundation for expansion in that area.
Awesome.
But yeah, come see me there. Come get a workout. And come see us at the church too.
100%. FAC Talmadge, come visit us. We're here, 109 South Avenue, every Sunday.
That trumps everything else, in my opinion.
100%. We love you guys. Cast faith in everyday life. See you next week.
See you, everybody.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
All of those goals that we set back in January are getting harder and harder to follow. Start with something simple like protein, creatine, train, eat, and repeat.
And First Phorm makes it easy. They have multiple ways to buy the products in order. I use the protein and creatine every day. I also use their vitamin stack, and I love the beef sticks for a quick on-the-go snack.
It's important to say that supplements don't do all the work for you, but they help remove the friction that you're feeling right about now, and it helps us to stay consistent. That's right. Use our link in the description or firstphorm.com/castingfaith.